Good evening. Tonight we will be discussing practical ways to honor the Sabbats and the Esbats without the use of ritual. Not everyone feels drawn to formal ritual, and that's perfectly okay. Maybe you're just beginning your path and still figuring out what resonates with you. Maybe you have a busy life and not a lot of private space. Or maybe, for you, connecting with the earth and the cycles of the moon and the sun is something quiet, internal, and deeply personal. Tonight I want to offer you ideas, simple, meaningful ways to honor the moon phases and the wheel of the year without casting circles, calling quarters, or lighting incense if that's not your thing. Let's begin with the Esbats, the moons, before we move on to the Sabbats, the turning points of the solar year. The full moon is a time of culmination and often a spotlight on emotions or energy that we've been holding. There are many ways to honor the full moon without ritual. You might choose to spend time outside, just observing the moon. Let it light your face, breathe in the magic of the night. Perhaps you'd like to charge a glass of water in the moonlight and drink it the next morning as a symbolic way of taking in lunar energy. Write a gratitude list or journal about what's come to fruition in your own life. Try cleaning your living space. Think of it as releasing stagnant energy and welcoming clarity into your current life. And don't forget to take a moonlit walk or just sit in your window with the lights off, reflecting on the power of the full moon. Now, the new moon, on the other hand, is a time of planting seeds, both literal and metaphorical. It's a moment for setting intentions or simply pausing. There are, just like with the full moon, ways to honor the new moon that do not require any ritual. Try writing down a goal or intention and tuck it somewhere where you'll see it occasionally. Begin a new habit, no matter how small. This is a great time to align new beginnings with lunar cycles. Maybe light a candle, not for any specific purpose, just as a gentle symbol of your desire to bring light to something new. Spend some quiet time in meditation or simply sit with yourself in silence. And don't forget, you could also start a new book, journal, or creative project, as this is the time for new beginnings. The Sabbats are different on their own level, really. They are, for one, celebrating the solar year. So let's turn to that solar year and the great turning of the wheel. Each Sabbat offers us a moment to pause and honor the world's natural rhythms without having to use ritual if we don't want to. Remember, if you do want to use ritual, you absolutely can. Yule is the longest night and the rebirth of the sun. You might choose to honor Yule without ritual by decorating with natural elements like pine, holly, or cinnamon sticks. You might light candles or fairy lights to welcome the return of the light. Maybe you'll reflect on the past year and write down your hopes for the coming one. You might make or enjoy a warm meal with seasonal foods like roasted root vegetables, warm cider, or baked goods. And donate warm clothes or food to those in need to share the light with others. Imbolg is the first hint of spring, associated with Brihit and the stirring of life beneath the earth. Ways to honor Imbolg without ritual include cleaning a small area of your home as a symbolic way of making space for new life. You might light a white or yellow candle and take a moment to just breathe. You might want to start seeds indoors or bring a houseplant into your space. Write down your creative goals. Imbolg is a great time to nurture inspiration. And of course, you might make a simple dairy-based dish or herbal tea to honor the returning nourishment of the land. The spring equinox, sometimes called Ostera, is a time of balance and renewal when day and night are equal. ways to honor the spring equinox without ritual involve going outside and looking for signs of spring. Look for buds, blossoms, or just listen for the sound of the birds. You might want to decorate eggs, even just for yourself, as a symbol of potential and new life. Plant something, even if it's just herbs on your windowsill. If it's too cold where you are, indoor planting works wonders. You might want to eat fresh green foods, salads, sprouts, or anything that feels vibrant and like it belongs on a springtime dinner table. Open your windows, of course, and let fresh air into your home, symbolically welcoming the renewal that spring always brings. Beltane is the fire festival of fertility, joy, and growth. There are several ways you can honor Beltane without using ritual. You might want to spend time in nature, even barefoot in the grass. It can be a magical experience. Make flower crowns or tuck a bloom behind your ear. Cook a meal with seasonal fresh ingredients and share it with someone you love. You might want to dance, sing, or just let yourself feel joy in your body. This is the time for that kind of thing. And write down something you're passionate about or a dream you'd like to pursue during the coming year. This is a good time to make commitments. The summer solstice is the peak of light and power in the wheel of the year. To honor the summer solstice without ritual, try watching the sunrise or the sunset, honoring the sun's strength. Make sun tea or eat foods associated with solar energy, citrus, honey, golden vegetables. Spend the day outdoors if possible, at the beach or in a garden, or just going for a nice long walk. Write a list of your strengths and achievements to remind yourself of what you're good at. And charge crystals or objects beneath the sunlight. Lunasa is the first harvest, honoring work, abundance, and gratitude. There are many ways to honor Lunasa without ritual. You might want to bake bread or make something from scratch. Share food with others, even if it's just a little homemade treat. Reflect on what you've harvested so far this year, what's come to your life through your efforts. Go for a walk in a field, orchard, or even a park, connecting with the growing world. And write thank you notes to people, to the earth, or even just to yourself. Remember to show gratitude. The autumnal equinox is a time of balance and preparing for the darkness to come. There are ways to honor this time of year, again, without ritual. Make a meal using autumn produce like squash, apples, and corn. Clean out your closet or pantry as a physical act of preparation. Journal about what you're letting go of and what you're gathering close. Light candles in the evening and enjoy the growing dark. Make a gratitude list or a small altar of harvest items like leaves and acorns or fancy stones you find at this time of year. And then we move on to the final holiday in the wheel of the year, Samhain. This is the Witcher's New Year, a time of remembrance and mystery. To celebrate this festival without ritual is actually quite simple. You might wish to look through old photos or write a letter to one of your ancestors. Set out a small plate of food on your table and honor those who've passed. Watch the stars or sit outside in the dark and reflect on the cycle of death and rebirth. Carve a pumpkin, of course, and decorate it with seasonal items. And write down what you're ready to release and safely burn or bury the paper. You don't need elaborate tools or ceremonies to rock in rhythm with the earth. Sometimes the most powerful magic is quiet. A whisper of the wind, a seed pressed into soil, a moment of stillness under the stars. Whether you're deep in your practice or just beginning to explore, you can leave seasonally and spiritually in ways that feel natural and authentic to you. Thank you for joining us this week. If you have a favorite Sabbat or moon phase and a way you honor it in your daily life, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Blessed be.